It's nearly 5 years since Joe Calzaghe arrived as a world champion, the night he sent Chris Eubank sprawling. Since then, he's repelled 9 challengers. But tonight, he meets a boxer from top world class, America's former IBF champion, Charles Brewer.
I have to fight world-class fighters, like Charles Brewer. You know, he's a world-class fighter, a genuine world-class fighter. And this is a genuine world title fight. You know, these fights now are so important. Every fight's important, but this is like all or nothing now, isn't it?
We both have fast hands, and we are both supposed to have power punches, but it's a matter of who lands the right punch, and when they land it is going to be the one to take their opponent out.
America will be watching again tonight, following on from Calzaghe's recent publicity trip to New York and his lunch with the influential fight media in the States.
American audiences want exciting fights, and they want exciting fights involving world-class fighters. So as long as Joe's exciting, I think he'll be welcomed on American television and by American audiences.
If Calzaghe wins tonight, vivid imaginations will talk of a match with Roy Jones again, though middleweight star Bernard Hopkins is a more realistic target.
I think he's head and shoulders above all the super middleweights. On his day, providing he's injury-free and he's trained right and he's focused, I don't think anybody is capable of testing.
Stand by for a crackling atmosphere again tonight with Calzaghe boxing at home. Last time he was in Cardiff, he produced a sizzling first-round win over German Mario Fight. But Brewer is convinced he's still top draw, and he's very confident.
It's going to be an action-packed fight. But I'm looking to leave Europe with the world title.
I have to make sure I'm on tip-top form on the night and keep alert. But basically, he's been knocked out before, and he's going to get knocked out again, I feel.
What are you looking for from him tonight, Barry?
I'm looking for a fast start, take control of the fight. Brewer's vulnerable early on, as we've seen before. He needs, against Harold Graham and Anton Eccles, he's got to walk out, he's got to whack him on the chin, he's got to take the centre of the ring and be first, every single time, be first. And we know that if he allows this guy to get into the fight and get started, he's big and strong and he throws loads of punches. He can't allow that to happen.
Nicky, given Charles Brewer's record, how is he going to deal with the best that Calzaghe might be dishing up tonight?
Well, you know, he's gone down many times in his career, but he's gone up most times, and he can really punch. And I hope Joe does tonight, does what Barry says, but does it with control. If he gets nervous and starts really just trying to get Brewer out of there carelessly and recklessly, he may walk onto him, because there's no doubt this man can win. And you may see Charles Brewer trying to box and see what Calzaghe's got to offer, and then trying to step it up later.
Nigel Benn briefly told us last night on ringside that he feared that the sharp right hand by Brewer might be the shot that Calzaghe would have difficulty dealing with. Do you agree with that?
Well, right hands, as they say, are the key punches for southpaws. Right hands, left hooks, and he's got a great right hand, so yeah, it could be.
One British fighter 4 years ago gave Charles Brewer all the trouble he could handle. That man is Harold Graham, and he's with us tonight.
Well, Harold, you came so desperately close against Charles Brewer. What were your recollections of that fight?
My recollections is the case that I was nearly a champion again, once again. But it was a good fight, really hard fight. I had him down early on in the rounds as well. And so I thought I was going to be a winner here. But no, it wasn't to be.
It seemed like he was vulnerable to your straight left hand, you being a southpaw, just like Joe Calzaghe.
Yeah, he was vulnerable. He went down twice, actually, yeah. And like, he started swearing, actually. But vulnerable to right handless, actually. And so if Joe can do the same tonight, we come out victorious.
But even though you knocked him down, you can't rule him out, can you? Because he came back at you in that 10th round.
No, you can't rule him out at all. Not in one round, any round at all, because he came back really well. Like here, just sat on the ropes and said, no way, I can't go on.
What advice would you give Joe Calzaghe, considering your experience against Brewer?
I'd tell him tonight, make sure he moves well. And counter-punch him all the time, just counter-punch him. And then as the rounds go on, round 7 and 8, he can come into the fight then and hit him with those big right hands.
Thanks, Harold.
Talk tonight in Cardiff is of Hopkins and Jones, but it won't mean much for Calzaghe and his support unless he deals with Brewer. Our top of the bill is next.
Start by Calzaghe. Another left hand, and then a second
one. Big fight time. The Cardiff International Arena. It's packed, waiting to see if Wales' top fighter of recent times can take the next step. He's being watched not just across Britain and Europe, but especially in America tonight. Our MC, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the featured bout of the evening. Get ready to welcome the boxers as they make their way to the ring for the WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the World. First, ladies and gentlemen, we bring out the challenger from the United States and former world champion, Charles Brewer.
To the former IBF champion of the world, Charles Brewer, who represents the most dangerous assignment yet for Joe Calzaghe. This is a fighter known and respected in the United States. Standing there with his trainer, you might remember Bobby Boogaloo Watts, who beat Marvin Hagler, one of only 3 people who did. His last fight was in Britain against Mark Taylor, but Brewer here, fast hands, big punch, operated at the top level, stopped Harold Graham. Okay, it was late in Harold's career, and he's coming here pretty fired up. He says he's fed up with hearing Calzaghe say he's the best super middleweight in the world, because he still believes that he is. But I think the dodgy thing with Brewer is his chin, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But in the Graham fight, he proved that he can still get off the floor to knock his man out. So it's not like it's completely dodgy, his chin. He's still got something there, but he's got a big punch, and I think confidence is the key here for Brewer. He actually thinks he can beat Calzaghe. He doesn't think that much or respect that much of Calzaghe.
Calls himself the Hatchet. Charles Brewer, his old trainer, used to give all his fighters names like the Blade and the Razor, rather perversely. Calzaghe's on his way soon. Big crowd, great atmosphere here.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring, here is the undefeated super middleweight champion of the world, Joe Calzaghe.
Absolutely thunderous noise. Just look at that sight. 5,000 Welsh fans. It brings back memories, really, of old Welsh fight nights with Howard Winston back in the 60s. And longer ago, maybe, little Jimmy Wild. Calzaghe is probably the most accomplished Welsh fighter since that great featherweight Winston. And now, after getting a bit of a lukewarm reception in his early days in home territory, well, the pictures speak for themselves.
Well, he's proven himself, hasn't he? Time and time again, he's undefeated, he's boxed so well, he's got the power, and I think it shows how much he's come on, the fact that, the fans have really gone for him now.
Being seen again tonight on American television, they showcased him quite a bit. He's had a publicity trip to New York, and he stands on the threshold of possibly moving from being regarded as just a very good fighter into that elite group, which includes the likes of Lennox Lewis, Roy Jones, Oscar De La Hoya, and so on.
Yes, he does. This is a step very much closer to that big level of the very top name fighters in the world. And what he needs is a very good win here. He needs to be at his best and really put a message to America and tell them how good he is.
Preparations have gone fabulously well, they say. The only hiccup was yesterday when he crashed his car on the way to the weigh-in. Now, what was he doing driving to the weigh-in?
Well, he's like that, Joe. He does things pretty simply. He shouldn't have been doing that. Somebody else should have been driving, but then again, somebody else could have crashed.
Well, Randolph Turpin apparently caught a tube train to his fight with Sugar Ray Robinson. Still won. Calzaghe is 2 years younger. He's turned 30 since his last fight. Brewer 32, still thinks he's at his peak. The American is taller, has that reach advantage, and he's got very quick hands as well. That weight is interesting. Brewer had to lose 2 pounds in 90 minutes to get inside the limit. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been a championship fight. Is he tight at the weight? Brewer, a professional now since '89. Calzaghe since '93. 9 years now. Brewer's had more fights. He's mixed at top world class. But Calzaghe's had some big wins too. Don't forget, he's beaten Robbie Reed and Richie Woodall and Chris Eubank. We're all set.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue our action at this time, we ask you to please be upstanding for the national anthems. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we wish to recognize that while we are here to cheer on our favorite boxer in a sport that we love, in the big picture, recent world events have demonstrated the very close relationship that has been enjoyed by the UK and the United States. With this in light, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you will agree that it is very appropriate to respect the national anthems of both the United States and Wales.
Yeah, please show respect to both anthems. Thank you very much.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we present the national anthem of the United States. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please remain standing at this time. We present the national anthem of Wales. Please welcome to the microphone vocalist for the Welsh National Opera, Paula Bradbury.
Well, what a fantastic atmosphere here.
Thank you very much to Paula Bradbury. Ladies and gentlemen in attendance, live and exclusive on Sky Sports across the UK, and to our boxing fans joining us around the world, we welcome you to the International Arena here in the beautiful city of Cardiff, Wales. It is time for the featured bout of the evening, and it's all brought to you by Frank Warren Sports Network in association with Showtime and Red Square. This bout coming away, ladies and gentlemen, is sanctioned by the World Boxing Organization. The president is Francisco Valcárcel. Supervisor at ringside is Charles Giles, along with the British Boxing Board of Control. The steward in charge is Lord Brooks of Tremorfa. Introducing to you our 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Rouen, France, Robin Dolpierre. From London, England, Roy Francis. And from Las Vegas, Nevada in the United States, Chuck Jompa. And our referee in charge of this bout, working in this his 21st world title bout, from St. Paul, Minnesota in the United States, Mark Nelson. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, from Cardiff, Wales, it is showtime! Introducing to you first the challenger. On my left, he is fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with red trim, joining us from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in the United States. He weighed in at 11 stone, 13 3/4 pounds, or 167 3/4 U.S. pounds. His record stands at 37 wins, 8 losses, 26 wins coming by way of knockout. He is ranked the number 6 super middleweight in the world by the WBO. Please welcome the former IBF super middleweight champion of the world, Charles "The Hatchet" Brewer. And his opponent across the ring is the defending world champion on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with white trim, fighting out of Newbridge, South Wales. His weight the same as his opponent, 11 stone, 13 3/4 pounds, 167 3/4 U.S. pounds, undefeated in his campaign in the ring, 32 wins, no losses, 27 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making the 10th defense of his title, here is the undefeated WBO Super Middleweight Champion of the World, Joe Calzaghe. Once again, our referee in charge, Mark Nelson. Now to give instructions, 12 rounds of boxing scheduled.
And Brewer's going to know he's a long way from home here.
Step back, gentlemen. Charles, you've already received your instructions in the dressing room for the WBO Super Middleweight title. You know exactly what I expect. A clean championship fight. Just obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Obey the bell. Any questions from Mr. Calzaghe's chief second? Mr. Brewer's? Touch gloves. Good luck to both of you.
Blazing eyes of Calzaghe seconds before he starts. The referee, Mark Nelson, was in charge for Calzaghe's last fight in Cardiff. He won in 112 seconds against Mario Fight of Germany. This could be fiery and feisty. Between them, they've got 39 wins inside 3 rounds. Calzaghe on home territory again in Wales, making the 5th defence that he's made in this city, his 10th defence in all of this title he's held for 4.5 years. Brewer, the former IBF champion in 97 and 98. Does have trouble with southpaws. He did with Harold Graham, who had him on the floor twice before Brewer, even with a sprained ankle, stopped Graham in the 10th round. The crowd are singing, all of them in the background, here in the land of song.
Well, it is a tremendous big fight atmosphere here, and they're going to have a little look at each other, but you just suspect that the fireworks are going to go straight away.
Calzaghe has to be very careful of Brewer's right hand, and Calzaghe has been vulnerable to that once or twice in the past, notably against Robin Reed. Brewer, a fiery start, did get there with the right hand as well. Look at it, it's kicked off straight away. And Brewer grits his teeth and snarls across the ring at Calzaghe. There's been no love lost between those two. Good left hand from Calzaghe, who says, this man's disrespected me, I'm going to make him pay.
Well, Calzaghe's really come out to make a fight of it, and that's probably what Brewer wants. That's where he can get his big punches on.
Great left hand from Calzaghe, who's a heavy hitter, but so is Brewer. It's generally reckoned that Calzaghe's got the better chin of the two. He's starting to unload with this left hand on the former champion. Well, I was told by Calzaghe's camp that he'd boxed quite carefully to start with.
They lied to you, Ian.
They lied.
Well, it's a torrid start. Both looking for their big punches. Calzaghe trying to get that left hook on.
There's a feeling in Calzaghe's camp that Brewer's a bit of a glory or bust operator. He's looking a bit open there. Calzaghe unloaded on him with 3.
Well, Calzaghe really has come out here and means business. Wants to get this over with pretty quick. Got to be careful he doesn't walk on anything.
If you were snoozing in the armchair at home, this will wake you up.
Get out of there. Quick!
Bread of heaven rings around the arena. Superb action in this first round, and Calzaghe is getting the better of the argument too. They said it might be a slugfest. To use the American phrase, it was exactly that. You can hardly hear yourself thinking here. Calzaghe got the better of that, didn't he, Glenn?
Yeah, he got the better and he landed with some good shots. Enzo Calzaghe furious with him. Really reading the riot act.
And you know why that is, don't you? Because they wanted him to just have a look at this and they think they're playing Brewer's game here.
Yeah, well, they could be, but he did wobble. He did hurt Brewer with some shots. I mean, Calzaghe is very confident. You know, he knows he's the best in the world. He wants to go out there and prove it.
Do you think he's been charged up by this crowd and atmosphere? I think the answer is yes.
Well, I think it has to be. It's a tremendous atmosphere here.
Let's go, get the water here.
I think there's no doubt about it. That was not the battle plan. That's why Enzo Calzaghe, the trainer, was annoyed in the corner. Here comes round 2. Will we see a rather more circumspect approach from Calzaghe in this second round? He's definitely got greater schooling behind him. Very talented amateur. Won ABA titles at 3 different weights in consecutive years, Calzaghe. Brewer did next to nothing in his brief amateur career. He's not even a boxing fan, he says. It's a business venture for him.
Well, for me, I think the strategy for Calzaghe's got to be a little bit of boxing with the rough stuff and the fast stuff. I think he shouldn't box all out and he shouldn't slug all out. He's got to mix it up.
Calzaghe looking sleek and making the weight at the first time of asking. Better than he used to make it, in fact. A couple of years ago. Good body shot from Calzaghe. And I tell you what, I bet this fight so far is going down a storm in the United States as well.
Watch your heads.
Brewer hasn't really got that right hand into play as yet. He had Antoine Eccles on the floor 3 times in the second round and lost in the third. Brewer, very controversially. But there were lessons there about what he can do if he lands right.
Well, Calzaghe's throwing a lot of shots. He's looking for the right ones, and I think he needs to be busy with his hands.
Oh, he's hurting with that right hand, Glenn. Lovely shot, little right hook. Had him going, and Brewer open here. Stays upright. He's supposed to have a bad chin. He's taking these from Calzaghe, but Joe definitely set him up there.
That was a good barrage of punches from Calzaghe. He's finding the target. He's got to keep this sort of momentum going.
He's picking holes in Brewer's defence. Just a mixture of boxing, and when he has to, blasting from Calzaghe in this second round. He looks the superior operator so far, but Brewer could turn all that around with one of those fast hammer blows of his.
Better accuracy from Calzaghe.
It's a cracker so far, and we're only in the second. It's like one of those old-fashioned boxing nights, this one.
Well, Brewer looking for his left, but it was Calzaghe that got the better one on.
Generally acknowledged to be the top man at this weight in the world, Calzaghe, never mind the various alphabet titles. This is the guy, even on the other side of the pond, they think he's the best. He wants to prove it here against this American. Enzo Calzaghe, dad and trainer, who used to go on tour alongside the Baron Knights and Bucks Fizz and Paul Young. Good boxing trainer now as well, and this is what his son did.
Well, excellent work. Look at the punches going in. Just keep barrage of shots going in. Eventually he's going to get him, and he does with a decent shot. But good work rate from Calzaghe.
Corner were more pleased with him after that round. Here's round 3 for the WBO Super Middleweight Championship. He's having trouble, Brewer, coping with the speed and the accuracy of Calzaghe, and Calzaghe's very accurate even in a fast-paced fight like this.
Well, he's thrown so many shots, he really is taken Brewer by surprise.
Calzaghe looking, as I suspected, as if he's about at his peak at the moment at 30 years old. He went through a bad patch when he had elbow injuries and 1 or 2 other problems. Went a bit flat, but recently, last couple of years, he's often looked pretty electric. He's doing that here at the moment.
Well, we've got to remember that Brewer still has a good punch himself. He can turn it all around.
The body punches will be a ploy to try to slow Calzaghe a little. And Calzaghe's definitely got the faster hands. Having said all of that, Brewer still looks pretty strong, doesn't he?
He does, he looks fit, strong. Really gritting defiance out there, looking for a big right hand.
There was one of them, it bounced off Calzaghe's chin. He's done 150 rounds of sparring, they say, Brewer, for this, a lot of it with heavyweights. They say he's very mean in the gym, a la Herbie Hyde.
Well, he's going to need that sort of mentality in a fight like this. There's a nice left hand in there from Calzaghe.
It's a bit better from Brewer, though, in this round. 1 or 2 body shots. Whipped in a little left hand as well, and there he is again, and that sent the sweat spraying from Calzaghe's head.
These good left hooks from Calzaghe.
Someone has to give.
What a tremendous fight. There's so much pride at stake in there.
We thought it would be.
Brewer looking strong, doing slightly better in this round, although Calzaghe still busier.
Calzaghe has beaten 1 other American in his reign, Omar Shaker, but I think it's fair to say he certainly isn't of the level of this fella. Some way below, in fact, on pedigree.
Well, we all know that the Philadelphia fight school is a tough one. They breed them hard in Philadelphia.
You only have to mention the name Joe Frazier, don't you? Not to mention a few others. Good little left hand close in there. But Brewer's been more competitive in this round. Packed house at the International Arena, not far from the Millennium Stadium and the castle here in Cardiff. FA Cup final here in a couple of weeks. The heartbeat of the sporting nation around here just at the moment, and what a fight we're watching at the moment. Brewer was smiling at the end of that last round, Glenn.
He was. He's strong. He's coming through well. And they're still angry. Enzo's still angry at Joe that he's fighting Brewer's fight, that he's right in there having a scrap, and he doesn't want. He wants him to mix it up and use that jab a bit more.
Calzaghe's only been taking the distance once on home territory. Just seemed to stumble more than anything there, Brewer, for a moment. I think the crowd thought he was in trouble. Oh, he's got him there, Calzaghe, with these fierce left hands. The right hook as well, and the left cross of Calzaghe.
The body shot and the left for Brewer, though. He's still looking for his good shots.
For a bloke who's supposed to have a fragile chin, Brewer's taking these pretty well.
Yeah, it's not that fragile, is it?
He lost his title to the German Sven Opke in Germany on a split decision, and lost a rematch in Germany on a split decision. Says he was robbed both times.
Another good left hand from long range from Calzaghe. Boxing a little nicer now.
He doesn't waste many, does he, Calzaghe?
Well, he's got good hand speed, good accuracy.
But Brewer is dangerous every second he's in this fight. Brewer was saying in the build-up, I'm going to fight till there's no more fight left in me.
Well, he is that sort of character. He will give it his best, and he is. He's pushing Calzaghe back, looking strong, Brewer.
Trying to tee off on Calzaghe. This is a ferociously intense battle between these two, played out amid a raucous atmosphere in this international arena. Great combination from Calzaghe. And a lovely left uppercut too. Brewer still stays there and wants to trade. He's taking these, and in doing that, is he breaking Joe's heart a bit, because Joe's hitting him with so many punches. And Brewer continues to march forward.
Well, I don't think he'll break his heart as long as Joe Calzaghe is throwing the shots and landing. And I think certainly he's impressing audiences, and he will be in America with this sort of performance.
Can Brewer keep up this kind of pace if he's had the trouble we think he's had making the weight? Taking very few liquids this week, training in sweatsuits. Nearly 2 pounds over at the first time of asking on the scales. You'd never guess it from what you're watching. There's Bobby Boogaloo. Watch Augie Skimmaker, who's Jim Brewer trains at in Philadelphia. He's from the ghettos originally, but he's now he's got a good job as a computer analyst. His wife's got a hairdressing salon.
Well, what a good round, and Calzaghe really looked tremendous when he let the combinations go. Good accuracy, and he just keeps them coming. Brewer doing well to stand up to these shots, but you'd think something has to give.
It's quite a battle, this. I'd be amazed if it went to points at this kind of intensity. Round 5. Calzaghe in Cardiff. He's really caught on here now, and he'll be catching on pretty soon if he fights like this, I tell you, in the United States.
Taking the shots very well from long range. This is where he can make it easier for himself, Calzaghe.
Brewer's been slow out of the blocks in this round. Not doing much. Calzaghe lining him up, teeing off a bit. Is Brewer tiring a little, or has he got something else planned? Calzaghe's speed is awesome.
It really is. He just does so much when he's in there.
Absolutely blurring speed of the hands from Calzaghe. It's almost impossible to slip the punch.
Well, I know they're working it so hard on the pads and that with Enzo, these fast combinations.
It all started when he worked on the speed ball as a 9-year-old boy for Joe Calzaghe, and after that he was hooked. pace has slowed a little in this round. Calzaghe's still doing the better work, as he has done most of the way. You could argue about round 3. Other than that, Calzaghe's rounds, certainly for me and Glenn anyway.
Brewer still looking strong, still looking to push Calzaghe back.
And there is this element where Calzaghe will be thinking, I've hit this fella with all my best shots, and he's still around.
Yeah, most definitely. That's got to be going through his mind when the big punches go in. They do train very, very hard in the Newbridge gym, so he'll be in great shape. But also with Calzaghe, he's had problems with hands and injuries, and you know, they've got to hold up.
I got it.
Yes, he has had real problems with the hands in the past, not lately. It's a lovely right hand, counter shot from Calzaghe. Brewer caught like a sucker almost on the way in with that one. There's a real fire about Calzaghe, but Brewer still somehow has this strength and relentlessness about him.
We got him there with the right hand. Calzaghe just turned him on the blind side and popped a good reflex shot out.
But just as it looks as if he's really got Brewer going, Brewer seems to get it back together again. He's looking a bit more tired now as he goes back to the corner, Brewer. Let's get a word with a man who's fought Charles Brewer, Harold Graham.
Well, Harold, great fight, but you're not very happy with Joe's tactics.
I'm not happy with his tactics. It's going on to his left hand, so he's moving the opposite way. If he backs off the other way, then he's moving away from his big hand, his right hand, and then he can counter with his own his own right hand, and counter with the left hand as well.
You think he should be boxing more?
Yeah, if he boxes more, then he'll back off, and then he'll come to him. He'll just come straight to him, and he'll throw his left hand and catch him straight flush in the middle.
Do you Joe ahead in the fight?
Oh, he's definitely ahead in my paper. Definitely by at least 3 rounds.
Do you think he's going to win?
He will win, yes. I'm behind him.
Thanks.
That's the Harold Bomber Graham prediction. Harold, one of the best fighters we've ever had not to win a world championship. Dave Charnley would certainly be in that category as well for slightly older viewers. Here's round 6. Black trunks, remember. Joe Calzaghe defending this championship for the 10th time. Won it in '97 against Chris Eubank.
Well, I think it's important for Calzaghe to keep this sort of pace up, because he did look noticeably more tired, Brewer, when the bell went at the end of the last round. So I think Calzaghe has really got to keep the pressure on.
You'll sense that Calzaghe's a very experienced operator now. If he does come through this, there's bound to be talk of matching him with Bernard Hopkins, the big middleweight star who beat Felix Trinidad. That would be a mega fight. But he's got to get this one finished first. Looking good so far, and Brewer has slowed.
Brewer still walking forward, trying to push Calzaghe on the back foot. Calzaghe looking for the counters.
Brewer's got to that stage, I think, where he's wondering himself what he can do to make a dent in Calzaghe. Because Calzaghe does have this iron jaw, doesn't he? He's never been floored, he's never been cut. He hasn't lost a fight for 12 years, and that was back in the amateurs, well, European juniors.
He has, and he's got a tremendous record. He really has done everything that's been asked of him. Some right hand from Brewer going in, just rocking the head back of Calzaghe. Both looking a little tired in this round.
They're feeling the pace of it, aren't they, a little now? It's getting harder. I just wonder if it does slow generally, whether that will be to Brewer's advantage. But Calzaghe has got points in the bank here. I think that's beyond dispute.
Calzaghe craftily just trying to move the elbow, just switch the balance on Brewer there.
Probably the quietest round yet by Calzaghe. One of those looked to go a bit low from Brewer. He's quite happy to try and trade. He's leaving himself very open for left hands. I should think Calzaghe's been pretty surprised by Brewer's level of resilience. I am, actually.
Well, I think he always knew he was a top quality operator. You know, he has been at a very high level for a long time. So you know, he shouldn't have been that surprised.
Yeah!
Hey, get out more.
This action from Cardiff, just the first half of a wonderful double bill of world-class action for you this weekend. Sunday morning, 11:30 on Sky Sports 2. You can see the WBC World Lightweight title fight, Jose Luis Castillo against Floyd Mayweather. It's repeated at 6 on Sunday evening, incidentally. And here in Cardiff, this one is living up to all expectations.
And don't forget, Lewis Tyson coming up on Sky Box Office on June the 8th. Black Trucks of Joe Calzaghe, who's got a handy lead at the halfway point. His world championship record is 10 fights, 10 wins, 6 inside schedule. How will this develop in the second half of the contest? There's Glenn's card.
Yep, nice lead for Calzaghe. 5 points ahead. Just getting a little bit even in the last round. I give Brewer a share of that one.
Lovely left hand from Calzaghe again. Cluster of shots, punches in bunches from the champion.
Well, that's what makes him that bit special for me, Calzaghe. The fact that he can up the gears, he can, you know, like the old-fashioned fighters, really go through the combination punches.
He can switch tempo menacingly, Calzaghe. He says he's the best of British at the moment. Well, Lennox Lewis might have an argument with him, but he is Britain's longest reigning champion. Brewer is nailed again by a left hand, and he's getting a bit more laborious in his movements. Brewer, yes. Almost as if he's starting to walk through treacle at times.
That's right, he's not coming back as quick to Calzaghe, is he? He's not, you know, quick to go back and throw the shots himself.
Almost as if he's having trouble matching Calzaghe's intensity. Nice sneak right hand from the man who calls himself the Hatchet.
2 shots there from Brewer, right hand, left hook. Just reminding Calzaghe he's still there.
Brewer using his experience, trying to conserve his energy and line up some hurtful punches. Good right hand again from Brewer. These two both started this fight as if they were trying to get a train back to Paddington in 20 minutes time, but then good shots going in from Brewer now. Some left hands, most significant success yet for him. He's landed a series of them, and this is a bad patch for Calzaghe.
Yep, good uppercut from Brewer there, wasn't it, to finish that round.
And Calzaghe's got damage by the nose. Well, was there a little shift in the plot there in the last 30 seconds of that round?
There most definitely was. Brewer just started to land with a few good shots.
Come on,
There is still work to do here for Calzaghe. That was the one, wasn't it?
Yeah, left hook, then another left hook inside. Just picking the shots well. Calzaghe covering up, just you can tell he's just thinking in there, knows he's been hurt with a decent shot.
And when you watch that left hand, it's worth remembering Brewer is actually, although he fights orthodox, he is actually left-handed. So probably that left has a bit more power
than you'd expect.
Yeah.
Well, he did do well there, and that was a really good shot to finish the round, that left uppercut.
Carl, over here.
Calzaghe's chin, notably resilient, was needed there. As we go into the 8th round of this, quite a few people saw this finishing in the first half of the fight. Calzaghe leads, but there's no sense here of this being any kind of formality for him, even now. Brewer still looks pretty strong, and he's mightily determined to take the belt back with him to the United States. This is his way back into the big league, and he does need the money. I think one or two of his business ventures are just running into a bit of trouble lately. That's very well picked punch, though, by Calzaghe.
Well, it's good that he can do this. He can then just get back to being a good boxer, picking his shots. Calzaghe still very defiant. Brewer coming back with another big one himself.
Just a feeling here that Brewer may be looking to come on strong in the last third of this fight.
And the thought was, with him maybe having the weight problems, he'd be the one that would fade towards the end. Might it be different?
I got it.
I think the only time I've really seen Eubank quite badly shaken up was when Chris Eubank called him very late on the night he won the world title. Calzaghe was a pretty long way ahead on points by that stage.
Nice sharp shots from Calzaghe going in.
Look at that again from him too. Rat-a-tat-tat.
Punch out.
In the blink of an eye, he's thrown about 5 punches. Brewer, decent straight right, but he doesn't have the capacity of Calzaghe to throw these dazzling shots in clusters.
But he has got this sense of purpose and self-belief, Brewer, you feel.
Yep.
You know, he didn't seem to give Calzaghe that much respect, so in his mind, I think he feels the superior fighter, and that's what's giving him extra strength.
I got it.
Now, talking about that weight difficulty, is Camper trying to tell us at the weigh-in he always comes in over the limit, or he does half the time anyway. It was hard to believe, to be honest with you. It sounded like an old wives' tale. But maybe they're right. I don't know. Here's Calzaghe lifting it again. I just think the way this has gone, one of these has to make way sometime soon.
Well, we're glad one of them hasn't so far, because it really is making it for excellent watching and a tremendous fight.
Calzaghe's picked it up pretty well in this round, having had that dodgy period in the last half a minute of the 7th. Joe Calzaghe is the first world champion Wales have had above lightweight. It's quite interesting. Calzaghe's landed 226 to Brewer's 132, says the computer, and he's got a better success rate. That's a lot more, isn't it?
It is a lot more. He's very, very accurate, isn't he? And throws an awful lot of shots, Calzaghe. You know, for this sort of weight, that makes it magic.
Here's the 9th.
Get the water here. Okay.
There's water in the corner. The referee just wants cleared up from Brewer's corner. Brewer takes a look at somebody at ringside rather strangely for a moment. Not advisable that with Calzaghe in front of you in this mood.
Calzaghe just trying to get an angle there, just trying to slip to the side.
There's that left hand again. Almost like a caged lion let free. Calzaghe's on to Brewer on those ropes. These two have put on a stirring battle. Calzaghe must be in a handy lead.
Brewer not doing as much, maybe just looking for the bigger shots, trying to plant himself a little bit, but certainly not as many shots being thrown.
There's a story that Brewer, from his days in the ghetto, has got a bullet lodged in his back somewhere.
Well, it's pretty fashionable these days, isn't it, amongst fighters to have a bullet somewhere?
Cleveland Williams had one, didn't he, when he fought Muhammad Ali? I guess it's safer to leave it there than try to remove it.
I got it, here we go.
Never mind his back, he's got quite a bit going on in front of him.
Well, he's definitely slowed down a little bit, Brewer. Whether Calzaghe can take advantage of that, he's trying to lift it.
He just can't match the speed and work rate of the eager Calzaghe.
I don't really think there's many fighters who could. Such tremendous hand speed.
I got it.
And he's sustaining the effort pretty well as well, Calzaghe. He's used to this 12-round points distance. Before he's did it with Robin Reed and Rick Thornberry and David Starry, and of course with Eubank, and that's just in his World Championship reign.
I got it.
Southpaw leads to set up the next attack from Calzaghe. And he puts another round in the bank. Well, I would suggest it's such a big lead for Calzaghe now that Brewer needs a knockout or stoppage.
Yeah, I totally agree with you with that, Ian. But
Straight left, don't throw the left, chop it in.
he's boxing quite well, using his head.
Long left, jab, long left.
89 to 83, says Glenn. I've got a 6-point margin too. I've been given one round even, one to Brewer, rest to Calzaghe.
Use the blade. All right, lift the jab, move away, jab, come on to straight left.
Quite a character is Enzo, songwriter as well. Ernie Fossey, the former Coleman turned cutman and matchmaker on the far side. It's quite a team, and they do all the training in a humble little blue gym alongside the Newbridge Rugby Club. It all looks a bit funny when Joe turns up in his forge.
Well, it's been great. It's been a great success story for that gym.
It really is. Here's round 10. Calzaghe in the black trunks, remember. The defending champion.
It's all right.
In the first round, Ian, you wouldn't have took bets on it going this far, the way they started.
Well, it's a tribute to the fitness and preparations of both of them that they have got this far with it. The pace has slowed after the first 5 rounds or so. It's slowed more from Brewer than it has from Calzaghe, though.
That's right. But it's obvious Brewer has worked really, really hard for this opportunity. He's in good shape.
Well, he might see it as a last chance to get back among the really big boys and be a world champion again at this weight. But the way he's fighting here, he might get another one, even if he fails tonight. Good right hand from Brewer there.
Hold his neck.
Well, he's far from washed up, is he, Brewer?
Enzo Calzaghe in the corner described Brewer to me this week as a bit of a kamikaze pilot. He said he's dangerous because he has nothing to lose anymore.
Well, he's trying again to force the fight. He boxes better when he comes forward, Brewer. That's when he looks more dangerous.
How frustrated do you think Joe will be that he hasn't been able to force the knockout yet?
Well, I think there's that much going on. I don't think he'll have had that much time to really reflect on that. You know, Brewer's right in front of him, pushing him, so you know, he's just got to keep throwing the shots. But one thing about Joe Calzaghe is he's a winner.
Yes, he must have forgotten how to lose by now. Hasn't lost a fight in Britain since Michael Smythe beat him in a Welsh ABA welterweight fight back in 1990. Good body shot from Calzaghe in there. Just looks the fresher fighter of the two, doesn't he? He's had a few less miles on the clock, generally.
Yeah, well, most years Calzaghe's just fighting 2 fights a year, and maybe that will help his longevity and keep him fresh for longer.
Brewer's trying to land the right hand. I think the longer it goes, the more desperate Brewer will be to look for what would be a fight-finishing knockout punch that could turn the whole thing on its head.
There you go, work on it.
Well, Brewer's still got plenty in the tank for the next round.
Two rounds to go.
Don't blow your nose, don't blow your nose. Don't blow it, don't blow it, don't blow it, don't blow it. You've got 2 rounds to go, Hatchet. See, Hatchet, you land this guy pity-patting you. You can't do that. He's trying to...
Punches landed, Calzaghe over 100 more. And look at the disparity between the number landed in head punches especially, but Brewer more to the body.
Well, he does take his shots to the head, the combinations and fast flurries.
A lot of talking going on in that corner, maybe a bit too much. They're both giving him earache, really. The fighter doesn't want that, does he, at this stage?
No, you don't. I think Joe will be used to it with Enzo. Enzo, very animated character, so I think he'll be quite used to it.
Well, who are we to knock it? It's worked so far. It's worked fight after fight. Round 11. Is there going to be one little dramatic twist in this yet? All these Welsh fans will be hoping not.
Well, one thing's for sure, Brewer wants to go away from here with the belt, so he's going to try everything he can in the next 2 rounds.
They didn't seem especially upbeat, did they, in Brewer's corner, though?
No, they didn't. I think they obviously know he's behind, but he's still got a chance. He's still strong. He's still trying to get the shot on, and he is a puncher.
Brewer, who came through the famous Blue Horizon Academy in Philadelphia, run by Russell Paltz, who's actually here. He promotes Brewer.
Brewer's still trying to work away at the body of Calzaghe. Some nice shots inside from Brewer with the right hand.
That was obviously the strategy, wasn't it? The body attack from Brewer, and there it is again. But Calzaghe's taken them and doesn't appear to have wilted in any, well, significant way. Brewer's on the hunt here, though. I wonder if Calzaghe's thinking, well, I've got enough points in the bag here, I can just stay out of trouble. Brewer's right eye's closing up a bit, not closing, just swelling.
Well, I don't think Calzaghe wants to do that. I think that would be a bad idea to try and coast in with a fight of this caliber. You've got to keep sharp, and in doing that, you've got to keep in a winning frame of mind.
Yes, he may not want to give Brewer any initiative that he doesn't have. There's a clubbing little left hand twice over from the former IBF champion, Charles the Hatchet Brewer there.
Well, he's doing all right in this round, Brewer. He's using his strength. He's catching Calzaghe inside, and he's getting pretty busy. Calzaghe, on the other hand, not doing as much.
He's just on his bike a little, isn't he, Calzaghe? He's looking to stay out of range. He's almost given himself a round off.
Yep, I think he's feeling the pace a little bit. He has worked very hard and taken a bit of a breather. Maybe expects a big 12th from Brewer.
Keep him up.
Yeah, that might be his ring experience coming into play there.
Yep, just calm it down in the 11th and be ready for the big all-out blast in the 12th.
Still light on his feet and looking very athletic, Calzaghe. But wait a minute, 2 left hands from Brewer there. Suddenly the tempo changes again. It's been that kind of a fight. Brewer's done more in this round, though.
He has. Brewer's round. Calzaghe looking tired.
But there are 3 minutes left. I think that's what they wanted him to do in that round.
Yeah, I think they want him to consolidate and get ready for the big last one. He's well ahead, but they know Brewer is going to go all out.
Calzaghe's landed many more punches. But how the judges got it? They are Roy Francis, Chuck Giampa, the famous Las Vegas judge, with whom we haven't always agreed, it must be said, and Robin Dolpierre of France. There we are. Calzaghe's been the full distance 4 times and Brewer 6. So they're well used to this distance and are clearly prepared to do it. In fact, probably twice over.
Well, I've got Calzaghe in a handy lead, 6 points ahead, but Brewer's still strong, still will be looking for the big shot in the last, so I expect a big round this one.
Well, you couldn't dream that it would go this far after the way it went early. All the words beforehand seem to have been forgotten. Real mutual respect you felt there in the way they touched gloves before the last round. I know they've shared something in there. Brewer goes for it with a right hand. He'll be looking to nail Calzaghe here because he must know here in Wales that he is surely behind on the cards. Although, as we so often say, who'd want to try and second guess the judges?
Brewer's chin has really stood the test and he's been a lot stronger in that department than I think anybody really expected.
How's this going down in America, do you reckon, Glenn?
Well, I think it'll go down well because I think it's been a really good fight. Terrific entertainment.
Again, the 5,000 fans break into song. And they played their part too tonight. This could be 1965, couldn't it? This atmosphere in here.
It's been a really good fight, tremendous atmosphere, real big-time boxing in Cardiff.
Calzaghe quite happy to maul in close as the seconds tick away, halfway through the final round. It's quite a small ring this, by the way, tonight, 18-foot square. Apparently Calzaghe's camp wanted that. Although Joe seemed to know nothing about it, so there's a bit of a query on that. Whatever the size of the ring, they've served up something very well worth watching.
Well, Calzaghe is managing to nullify anything that Brewer is trying. He's just boxing from long range and then falling in and tying Brewer up. I don't think Brewer's really got the strength to shake him free and get the big punches going.
Calzaghe's kept up a prodigious work rate throughout. Some of his combinations have been dazzling and eye-catching. He's looking for another of them there as they work in close. Brewer loses his balance, I thought, more than anything. Calzaghe tags him with right and left hand. What a finish to this fight. Just like the start again. Last few seconds, into the last 20 seconds of what for a lot of the way here has been thrilling stuff. But it does look as if Joe Calzaghe has had too potent a cocktail for this particular Brewer. Going to get the bell any second. It's over. Calzaghe feels he's won. There's a mutual embrace, mutual respect, and that's what professional fighters are about. There's Mandy, Joe's wife, and she can only really still be awestruck by the heroic deeds of Joe, who Glenn and I feel has comfortably done enough to retain the belt here tonight.
Yeah, he did. It was a great performance, I think, from Joe Calzaghe. He didn't get the big punches on, but I think Brewer was surprisingly resilient. Nevertheless, his wife is pretty happy.
Good job. There are Joe and Mandy reunited. He thinks he's done enough. He was fighting a man there with proven world championship credentials. He outworked him, and he looked good doing it. And I think there will be talk in the United States after this of getting him into a real, what they call a super fight, one with a Roy Jones. I don't think that one's going to happen. Too many American TV contractual problems. But Bernard Hopkins, yeah, Let's do it.
There's good fights out there for him, certainly. And I think, you know, he's got to go to America. He's got to fight out there. They'll have liked that. It was entertainment all the way. And he showed an awful lot. Boxing, you know, courage, grit and determination, that fast hands and the speed. There's a lot to like about Joe Calzaghe.
Punches landed. Calzaghe 289, Brewer 179. Success rate 36% to 28%. Calzaghe better. We make him a wide margin winner. The three judges, cards being collated: Roy Francis of Great Britain, Chuck Jamper from Las Vegas, Robin Dolpierre of France, and Jimmy Lennon is just checking one more time before giving us the announcement. But there does seem a feeling around here. Calzaghe thinks he's done enough. So do we. And here we go now.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, the judges are in agreement. We have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Roy Francis scores about 117 to 112. Judge Robin Dolpierre scores about 118 to 111. Chuck Jampa scores about 119 to 109. All three in favor of the winner, and still champion, Joe Calzaghe.
It's the most significant win yet for Joe Calzaghe. And were you watching America? The margins: 5 points, 10 points, and 7 points on the three cards.
And ladies and gentlemen,
it was a very, very fine display right out of the top drawer of world boxing from Joe Calzaghe of Newbridge in Wales. Confirmation of the scorecards. It was wide. You can argue about margins, but there was no doubt about who'd won that fight. He's still undefeated, now in 33 fights. Joe, many congratulations indeed. Were you surprised that he could stay with that kind of pace and those kind of punches?
Whew! Shit, that was hard. That was hard, a bit harder than last time I come over and fought. I give full respect to Charles Brewer, like I said before the fight, although he's not world champion. As far as I'm concerned, you know, he's the #1 challenger out there. He was the former IBF champion. He got robbed when he lost his title. I thought when they catch him on the chin and knock him out, but to give him full credit, he takes a great shot, and he's a true warrior. You see, you know, I really dig deep in this fight and show the champion spirit. I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. You spurred me on, give me extra 20%. And at last we can cheer, man. You're a winner. Still champion of the world.
It looked the most dangerous assignment of your career, that you've come through it. What do you think you've proved? Because again, you were being watched in the United States tonight.
Well, I proved that I can take a shot. You know, I dig deep tonight. He caught me some excellent body shots. He caught me some excellent shots to the chin. Obviously, I showed my resilience. I showed I got a champion's heart. I had to dig deep, and that's what I did. And there's absolutely no way anybody's coming over here to take my title away. They have to carry me out that ring. No way!
But the hardest fight of your career, yes?
One of them. I say Eubank's still the hardest fight. But I felt a little bit ring rusty. Don't forget, I've only done 5 rounds of boxing in the last over 12 months. So I really needed this 12 rounds. You know, I'm really thankful of this. And I want to keep busy now, keep active, hopefully come back to Cardiff and get somebody else, come over. Bernard Hopkins, middleweight champion, get him over here, Millennium Stadium, and I'm going to knock him out.
That's the fight you want, is it? Bernard Hopkins here in Cardiff.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's it. That's my defining fight. Been champion nearly 5 years now. I'm doing some big fights, some big money fights.
Well done tonight, Joe. Great stuff.
Thank you very much. Thank everybody. Thank you.
No, thank you, Joe, because it was really good. Is that the fight to take him to a new level, Barry?
Yes, without a doubt. That's his best opponent. He boxed brilliantly. He showed a new level of fitness. He fought furiously for 12 rounds. He could fight on the inside. He could caught some terrific body shots. He didn't always fight the best way, but certainly the most exciting way. I mean, the first round really shows us what this was all about. We see the first round is indicative of the entire fight. Just non-stop punching from the very first bell, fighting on the inside, whipping the shots up the middle. Joe got caught almost as many as he actually landed on Brewer himself, but that was a very impressive, you know, display of punches in the first round. Round 4 again, round 2, and again, it was just the same thing.
I know it wasn't perfect, Barry, but in spells, have you ever seen Calzaghe put his combinations together as well as he did tonight?
Well, he put his punches together very well, but he did, unfortunately, throw a little too many clusters on the inside, stayed on the inside a little bit too much, and got caught. And, you know, he really did show that he had guts and determination.
That's more a sign of the quality of the challenge, though, isn't it, Barry?
Well, it's about you know, your boxing is about who you fight, and obviously the styles make fights, and this made for a terrific in-close fight.
We don't want to see Brewer back when he's had no trouble on the way of doing.
No, we don't. That's exactly right. I mean, Brewer really came back strongly, but Joe showed all his heart, you know, and he really came through and pushed at the end. He knew he was really tired, but he had to put everything into it.
He came back here. He started taking control again, and it was all give and take in round 11. It was just as much Brewer as it was Calzaghe, because Brewer realised he had to do something fairly dramatic to win the fight. But Joe had built up a steady lead and just pulled it out at the end and looked very impressive right up to the final bell.
So many times we see champions, you know, they have such success throughout their careers, and then they really have a hard fight, and the real true champions come through like Joe Calzaghe tonight. He really showed he could fight under pressure.
I think undoubtedly that was a very important fight for him. A very important fight for America, because they wanted to see if this guy could fight. It showed two things. It showed that he's a great fighter, but it also showed his limitations, and I'm sure Bernard Hopkins out there must be thinking, maybe this is a step for me.
Save that for the moment. Interesting thought. Harold Graham's view on it.
Well, Harold, how impressed were you by Joe Calzaghe tonight?
I was impressed in the sense of the courage he's shown tonight. Tactics, not too. I'm a bit worried about his tactics, but it was a good all-round performance from him.
He had great work rate, didn't he? I mean, what was keeping Brewer up at times?
I do not know, but how did I do that to him? I hit him. He went that, but never mind. Yeah, he was working all the time. He had to work all the time, and he was keeping on the end of the jab, and his left hand coming through, hitting straight on the chin all the time.
And you say the wrong tactics, but those are the tactics that will have impressed the Americans. A bit of aggression.
Yeah, well, my tactics are different. Yeah, the aggression that the Americans like to see, of course. So the next fight to him might be, what, Hopkins, something like that, and they'd love that down the line.
That's the fight he desperately wants. Is that his defining fight, do you think?
That fight, if he gets that fight, that'd be a brilliant fight. Everybody go and see that, definitely. And I want to be there as well, Sky. Sorry. Yeah, it'd be a brilliant fight.
Finally, do you think Joe could win that fight?
Yes, you better, Joe. You've got it on the line. You're going to do it anyway.
Thank you very much, Harold.
One happy ending for the Welsh tonight.